Welcome to the Notorious Scoundrels, a Star Wars Legion podcast bringing you the latest news, general perspective, and competitive discussion.
Hello and welcome back to the Notorious Scoundrels podcast. I'm Kyle. I'm here with Jay and Tim. What's up, gentlemen?
Hello.
He said, "What's up?"
Is that like different?
Yeah.
Answer him. What's up, Tim?
Hello. I'm sorry. You know what? It's been great. It's been a good weekend, solid weekend. And then I came in here and started talking to Jay, and it's kind of gone downhill from there. So,
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that tracks. You know what's up, Kyle? I'm having a great day.
Awesome.
Tim's here. You're here. Like, we're all here, like present. That's a really good thing to have.
That's the baseline of success, I think, for recording a podcast. You need the microphones and you need to be present for speaking, I think.
Yeah.
I think we've hit those. Check those boxes.
And evidently, to be pasty white is great. Just to be reflecting any kind of lighting you try and throw up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to bring you in the photo studio, and you're gonna be like one of my reflection boxes for lighting.
Tim was messing with his lighting before we started recording.
One day I'll have my ring light set up. There we go.
Oh God, then we won't even see you. Just be like.
All right. We are going to talk about Legion today. We got a new preview for Moff Gideon. So we got his unit card. We got the Darksaber, the third version of the Darksaber in the game. Fourth.
Yeah. No.
Third.
No. Third.
No,
third version of the Darksaber. Maul, Sabine, and now.
Yeah, because Din didn't get it for whatever reason.
Not yet. Yeah.
He's not cool enough yet, apparently.
No. Future proofing or ensuring we can make a future Din release is what that is right there.
Like, listen. I don't want to take anything away from Moff Gideon. He may be an excellent warrior, but the guy who's like a proven warrior can't handle the sword. But Moff Gideon's out there like wielding it like it's nothing. It just seems strange.
Well, it's about confidence.
Yeah.
It's about like, it's not sword play. It's like, are you confident in your worthiness to dominate Mandalore? That's basically like what the saber supposedly rests to. So Moff Gideon is like, obviously, I'm Moff Gideon.
There's no real weight to it. It's all the weight that is being put into it by your mind / the Force.
Yeah. Whereas Din's like, I don't want this. Like, he literally tried to give it to Bo-Katan, so then the Darksaber's like, well, if you don't want me, I don't want you either. Screw you.
Well,
that's how it works.
That's one way to summarize that, but spoilers.
That's how it works. All right. Well, that's how it works, folks.
I mean, that's why Maul uses it so capably. He's like, oh yeah, obviously this is mine. Everything is mine.
You know what I
do like
Maul.
What's that, Jack?
I feel like I'm Han Solo on the Falcon, and Kenobi and Luke are trying to explain the Force to me.
It's all space magic. It's best not to question it.
That's true.
Space magic. Anyway, we're gonna talk about space magic. We're gonna do some Legion resolutions for 2023 because we are recording this the week after New Year's. I understand that Stabcast already did this bit.
Supposedly, you can't trust those guys though.
Yeah, I haven't actually listened to it. But we're doing the bit also, and we're gonna do it better because
Because we're better. Because we're better.
That's just go for the throat, Jay. That's right. Our throats are closely guarded by a beard. So,
is that the purpose of them?
Yes, absolutely. It's definitely not because I forgot to schedule a haircut with my barber. So,
I'm very jealous of your beard. Actually, I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you. It's a little overgrown for my taste right now, but we'll get there.
You have a throat? You just look all head and shoulders. I don't see
it. Is true. Head and shoulders is not like a shampoo brand for me. It's just like body type.
All right. Before we get to all that stuff, do you have some housekeeping for us, Jay?
I do. I have a bunch.
Okay.
So for those of you out there who don't know, Adepticon went live with all their events. I guess if you don't know, then you're probably not in the last chance qualifier because that's full now. But if you are not playing in Worlds and or if you play in the last chance qualifier and you unfortunately don't make it into Worlds, on March 24th, on Friday, I'm actually doing a live Q&A with WizKids at Adepticon. So we're gonna have one of the rooms. I'm gonna have Alex and Nick and Travis. So Alex Davey will be there. Nick and Travis are the guys who designed Onslaught, Dungeons and Dragons Onslaught, which we've been talking about. And we're gonna do a live Q&A, so you can come ask questions about the game, about the development process, all that stuff. And actually, we're gonna be giving away a free game of Onslaught during the Q&A. So, if you want to come ask questions and come see us, highly recommend signing up. It's completely free to sign up at Adepticon. I think it's the 24th at like 1 to 2 or something like that. And you guys, it's free. Come boost those numbers for me. Sign up. Come talk to us. Ask a bunch of questions. Make me look good in front of all our WizKids friends. That would really help.
Jay, this might be too early of a question. Maybe you don't know. Are they demoing that all weekend?
Oh yeah. So
Cool.
So they
'Cause
actually,
I wanted to try. I saw it at PAX.
Yeah.
But I was busy at PAX. I just didn't have the time, and I kind of wanted to give it a shot.
They actually have a ton of really cool stuff going on. So they have 3 basic rotations of events the whole weekend. They're doing learn to plays, so you can go learn. You're going to get some free stuff doing that. They have which this is something that Alex was talking to us about last week, and something that they're planning on doing is they have like an Adepticon exclusive event where I think it's called, let me see, it's like Dark Knights or something like that. And so basically to the death, go head to head and get exclusive content with special scenario featuring a pair of fearsome death knights. So basically it's a Adepticon exclusive event. So
That's
get
awesome.
I'm assuming each participant receives a 2-pack of Death Knight D&D Nazrules unpainted miniatures, monster cards, and a copy of the scenario. So basically this is a really cool thing that they're doing with Onslaught. Like I have the launch kit that they're doing. It's a mimic launch kit, so you go play the tournament and like the top 4 get miniatures and like a foil card. Like this is how all their events are going to run.
Well, and that's nice too, because like even just on the off chance that you don't enjoy it, which sounds awesome, but like just on the off chance you don't like it, like you can always use miniatures, right?
Yeah.
Like if you play any kind of any kind of game really nowadays uses miniatures.
Yeah. And then so let's see. So they're doing that. So that's like this cool like story event. Then they're also having mini tournaments all weekend. They're 3-round Swiss style tournaments. Let's see, exclusive prizes, and the winner gets an early copy of one of their expansion factions for winning a tournament. Like this
That's
is
pretty
what,
awesome.
Yeah. This is what I'm like the most excited about with this game, and why I've been like pushing this on everybody. It's like, hey, like the core box, I'm going to be putting out a review this week on it, but like my gist is, hey, the core box is cool, right? And it's a good starter, but for the people like us who play competitive minis games, this is where the meat of it is these tournaments and like scoring actual cool free things like for winning the tournament is like huge. Like in miniatures, like could you imagine playing Legion, winning a tournament and getting an alt sculpt like Vader or Luke or Obi, any of those alt sculpts that they were giving out? You get one for winning a tournament,
or like an advanced copy of an unreleased faction.
Yeah, like that would be
when LVO get an Ewok box, basically.
Oh my god,
my God.
Dude, it's wild.
I would win it and burn it just out of principle. That's it.
No, absolutely not.
So they're doing the learn to play. They're doing that the Dark Knights or Dark, what it is it? Yeah, Death Knights, the Death Knights scenario, and then they're doing a tournament. And so I highly recommend trying to get into any of those. I think most of them are full at this point. Some of the learn to plays are open, but yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about it. Sign up for the Q&A. You could get a free core set of the game, and you get to talk to us, which is, I think, is going to be super cool. So that's my big thing. I'm really excited about doing that developer Q&A. I think that's going to be a ton of fun. So we have that. The second thing I really want to talk about is, if you guys haven't seen it yet, We are putting out this product called One Shots. Originally, when we started, it was just going to be kind of like alternate scenarios with battle new battlefield cards that we came up with, like all arts of some of the cards that are in the non-IP infringing cards that are in the box, and some new tokens and stuff. And after some of the community and internally, I got not, I don't want to say pressure, but just the conversation started that, hey, why don't we turn One Shots into a magazine, kind of like White Dwarf? And for those of you that don't know, Games Workshop puts out a magazine called White Dwarf, and it has all these cool like alternate scenarios for 40K and fantasy, or Age of Sigmar now. It has like how to paint, it has like stories, it has some of them come with like mini games in them. Like there's all these cool things that come in the White Dwarf. And the magazine's something I've been wanting to do for years for Legion, and we've just never really had the opportunity. And so when a couple of our listeners and followers mentioned it, and then I talked to Kyle, and I was like, you know what, we have the staff now, I think it makes sense. And so yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're going to be putting out a monthly magazine now, with not just the magazine, but all those cards that I was talking about. We're gonna have alternate scenarios, new story every month. They're not connected, so you don't have to worry about, being behind, with new battlefield cards, new upgrade cards, new all kinds of new cards that we're making up ourselves. And then we're gonna have all arts of, the standard cards, like this one is standing orders and offensive stance and defensive stance. That's the alt arts this time. And so, yeah, so if you want to check that out, go up to thefifthtrooper.com. You can see it right on the homepage, or just search for One Shots, and you can get in on January. We're going to have them at LVO. We're giving away a bunch for free at LVO, I think for like the VIP ticket or whatever. And then I'll have them there as well. And so please check that out if you guys are interested in that. We've got article in there this month from Kyle. We've got we're actually going to be doing this thing called Hot Shots, which I'm really excited about. Lucas is interviewing community members, and we're going to be putting the interviews in the magazine. We're going to be featuring painters, so any of you who are like hobbyists and are painting up, doing great jobs with your paintings, will send us an email, and we'll start selecting painters for every issue. What else are we doing? Evan Paul is doing a list suggestion based on a unit. I think we're doing Fluttercraft this month, and then we'll do a different one every month. And so starting with like a unit and then building a whole list, and then he kind of talks about why he built the list that way. It's really cool stuff. So highly recommend you guys signing up, and yeah, we could get that going. And the more people that sign up for it, the more we can do in the magazine, and the more like pages we can add, and the more we'll be able to do moving forward. So I'm very excited about that. This is something Kyle knows. This is something I've been wanting to do for years and years and years. So
it's very exciting.
Yeah.
It's cool to have an actual print product.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's cool. And then speaking about LVO, I guess I'll just announce we are teaming up with David from Yavin Base, David Zelenka, our old scoundrel buddy. He and I are going to be streaming LVO. So if you want to see, how the new rules are affecting the game, cool. And we'll be doing that on David's Twitch channel. So that's Yavin Base on Twitch. And so check that out. I will be teaming up with David on that, and I'm very excited about that. So
that's awesome. Now, though, for the major events, especially LVO, I feel like LVO in particular, whenever we're casting, there's always like that golf whisper of like, oh, he's gonna roll, and look at those, and he rolls 3 crits. Yeah. Oh, he's just rolled 3 crits. He really needed all 3 of those. Oh my goodness. So like you really need that golf whisper going on.
Yeah,
100%.
We're gonna try. David and I were talking about how similar to Kyle and I, we're a good kind of like odd couple team up, where David's very like precise about how the game is being played and predicting, and I'm just more of like the loose cannon that's like color commentary on
color guy.
Everything. So
that's a good way to get away with saying whatever you want to say. That's good.
That one's good and at Legion, one's bad at Legion. Is that what? Yeah, I know who I am.
Jay,
No,
most
that's
most
awesome.
color guys in professional sports were like actual previous athletes.
Yeah,
so
right.
I don't think that that's necessarily, you know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate that.
They
So
were. I
it's-
mean, they weren't all like Super Bowl winners, but they played the sport. Yeah, it's fine.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, that sounds right. That feels right in my soul, So yeah, so go subscribe to David's channel, Yavin Base on Twitch, and we will be there. And I'll be sharing the link out, as we get closer to LVO as well. So
Awesome.
I think that's
be
everything.
good.
I think I got
That'd
them
be good.
all. Yeah.
All right. Sweet.
That's only a few weeks away too.
What is
Yeah,
that?
it's
1, 2,
3
geez.
weeks. Man,
Yeah,
You going, Tim?
3 to LVO.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's like
Oh.
I wouldn't miss it. I'd rather miss Adepticon and LVO.
Listen, we're not that close. I don't know. I'm just
We literally are that close. Like physically, I can get to your house
I
within a small amount of time.
it's uncomfortable for me.
yeah,
And
you guys are closer than me and Jay.
You would,
Oh,
and
yeah.
all the times
Literally.
we've hung out together after that. It's great being this close.
Yeah.
All the local tournaments you've come out to, it's been really encouraging to see. Yeah, it's been good.
they're below me now.
No, they're actually physically all above you, like
Yeah.
all the tournaments. I've seen the geography of it.
Geographically. Yeah.
Yeah,
I have a real short driving distance that I'm willing to drive for some of these local tournaments. It's about 20 minutes.
that's like
And isn't
down
your house like
front
20
driveway.
minutes from the
Yeah.
grocery store?
Yep,
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
that's correct.
Uh,
So normally they got to be at my house or I don't go.
welcome to the Wegmans Classic, where we're all playing the Wegmans Invitational.
Yeah, that's right.
We're not officially sponsored by Wegmans. Disclaimer. There you go.
Yeah, that's true. But if you're from Wegmans and you want to sponsor us, we're happy to take that sponsorship.
Yeah.
Fifth Trooper Gamer Meals.
There you go.
There you go.
That's definitely topically adjacent. Wegmans and miniatures gaming.
Yep.
There actually, this is going to be a tangent, but so
All
there's this convention. It's a historical gaming convention called Historicon. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It used to be down in Fredericksburg,
Mhm.
which is actually not that
That
far. It's
tracks.
like 90 minutes from me. Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
And it was actually the first like gaming convention that I went to because I had all these friends that were, grognards, basically like old historical wargamers guys, and they're like, hey, you should come to this historical wargaming convention. Like, all right, sure, sounds
Yeah.
great. And it was
Yeah.
really fun. But it's funny because the convention center is kind of just in like this random strip mall that's not close to anything except for a Wegmans, which is right next to it.
Mm,
So
that's all you need.
and there's thousands of thousands of dudes there that just like descend on this Wegmans,
Yeah,
and it's really
yeah.
funny to walk around their Wegmans and see a very shockingly different clientele than you normally see in Wegmans.
You know what?
that's-
We are not sponsored by Wegmans, but I will tell you right now, they're one of the best grocery stores in the
It's
entire
true.
world.
Yeah,
It's true. I didn't realize when I moved up here that I was moving into like the heart of Wegmans territory. I had no
Oh,
idea.
yeah.
it's
like, all right,
all the
I'm down
stuff
with
you
that.
can get too is amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I know. And also, I love that up here are white hots are a thing. I grew up with those, and I didn't know that it was an upstate thing. I just grew up having them, and then, yeah, now I know. So now I'm grateful to have them back.
you can get Westmalle Belgian Trappist beer there, which is one of my favorite beers.
That sounds
Dude,
fancy.
I'm
it's
not much of a beer guy, but
I literally could spend this whole podcast talking about Wegmans. Like they literally
Yes.
some of them
True,
have like
true.
full restaurants, like 2-3 full restaurants inside the grocery store. It's
I'm looking at you,
bonkers.
Pittsford Wegmans.
Yeah,
Pittsford Wegmans has a whole like,
Pittsburgh's Wegmans is
burgers
the
with the
best. Oh my
restaurant built
god.
into it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the first one I ever went to too. I was like, oh, my God.
Dude, that's the Richie Rich neighborhood. Yeah, that's the good one.
All right. Our next segment brought to you by Wegmans,
but not really. But maybe.
but not really,
But
not
maybe.
actually.
Maybe.
We're from New
Um,
York. You're from New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about Moff Gideon, before we do the Legion
Do we
Legion
have to?
resolutions.
Yeah, we
Can we
do.
keep talking about Wegmans? I'm hungry.
I mean,
That's-
I
their
am
sub-
hungry now too. Actually,
Their sub
Yeah.
shop's so good though. Like,
It
yeah.
is.
Don't even go to like a Subway or anything like that. Just go
No.
to there. Anyway,
Oh my god.
Even
so
just
good.
the little like buffet thing that has all the salads and fruits and stuff in it. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
just the whole by weight
Yeah.
section.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you can
It
get a
is
super
so
good meal
good.
there. Yeah.
oh yeah.
Their sushi is shockingly good as well.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
I leave that for you to
Yeah.
judge. I'm not that brave, so I'll try a
Sushi's
lot of
amazing.
things.
Oh,
I
I'm
know I
gonna,
like sushi. I like sushi. I'm
Just not
not going to
Wegmans
try
sushi.
Well, supermarket sushi. That's nothing against
Okay.
Wegmans.
Dude.
It's just in general.
I'm telling you, do it. The spring
You know what
rolls.
else we should do? We should talk about Gideon.
We should do it together.
There
Okay.
you
Like friends would.
go.
It's kind of like a nice California roll that has all the ingredients that work
Ah,
very nicely
yeah.
together. Moff Gideon.
It's true.
We got his unit card. Did you see that flawless transition?
Oh, that was perfect. Yeah, you can't fault that. That's good. It was good.
I did observe it.
Oh, yeah. I should pull up that unit card, shouldn't I?
I
Oops.
see what you did there.
Yeah.
When do you guys want to talk, like read through this unit card, and then we'll.
I guess I'll do it.
All right.
So this guy's name is Moff Gideon. Long live the Empire is his saying, I guess.
That's
Um,
actually his official subtitle.
Yep.
Which
It's strange.
yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, like that Gideon has a subtitle because, like, are they just? Which I get. Maybe we're just leaving the door open for Operative Gideon down the road. Like, maybe.
Well, everybody
I don't
has
know.
a subtitle.
But they're
Right,
usually
Like every
right,
unit has a
titles,
subtitle, but it's
not
usually
sayings.
titles. Yeah. I'm
Right,
actually
that's what I'm
looking.
saying.
Like
I can't think
Architect of
of-
Terror,
It's a very unique one.
Yeah, we got capable intelligence agent, unorthodox general,
Master
Stardust,
Tactician.
head of the rebellion, flawless and Leia's is the flawless and inventive. That kind of describes Leia, though, right?
They said flawless cinnamon. I'm like, that's unique.
Oh,
But all right, that's cool.
That's gonna be my ulterior name, Flawless Cinnamon.
Flawless
Yeah.
cinnamon.
Now coming to the stage,
This
Flawless
is
Cinnamon.
sixth trooper name. That's it.
Yeah.
IG-11 is nurse and protect, so that's kind of
Yeah, all right.
that's maybe the closest. All the other ones are titles that I'm looking at.
That is
Um,
interesting. Oh well,
But Gideon's.
we're getting real hung up on this.
Yeah.
Long live
Yeah,
the
right.
Empire. I like
Yeah.
it. All right. So the first thing on is there's a lot on his card. The first
there
one,
is.
for a free action, he has observe 1. So for those of you that don't know, you get to put an observe token on something. I think it's range 3, right? And
Yep.
and then when people attack with it, you can spend the observe to re-roll a die. Boom. Bingo,
Anybody,
bango,
can,
bango.
anybody can
that's
spend
great.
the observe to
That's-
re-roll the die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I think
Yeah.
I think more free action observe would be interesting.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Uh,
it's like it's a one-off, right? So
Yep.
like it's
Yeah.
not going to be game changing, or it could be game changing, but like it's not going to be game breaking or anything
Yeah.
like that. It's neat, makes you feel better.
So this is interesting, this next one, and this kind of ties in. So we're doing these Dark Trooper token sets inspired by Dark Troopers, not IP infringing at all.
Yeah.
And I had put 4 heavy tokens in there because they've got that weird token thing, but really it could potentially be 6.
6. Yeah.
I did not know he had Entourage.
We'll,
So
we'll come back to that in a second. Well, but
Yeah.
we'll come back to Dark Troopers here in a second because I have a question about those, but it's not related to this.
Okay,
We'll
okay.
come back to it.
So he has Entourage, Imperial, Dark Troopers. So the thing with that is you ignore the rank restriction when you have that, and also it gives them an order outside of your normal activation order pool.
Outside of your no more command tokens and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
it's almost like direct. It's
It
direct
is.
in Dark
It's-
Trooper. Plus, you can bring an extra one.
Right. That's literally what
Um,
it is. Yeah.
Right.
It's Tim. Don't
Well,
mince
Entourage-
words
another-
with Kyle.
Well, because like if you started with Clone Wars stuff and you don't know the old stuff, because we've not seen Entourage in a very long time.
That's
and
true.
Actually, I thought it was gone, and I was kind of sad because it's such an interesting design space.
Yeah, we haven't
And so
seen
I'm
it
really-
since Krennic, which I guess would be
Yeah.
4 years.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
So-
you're right. That is
Yeah.
super interesting, and I think
So I'm glad to see it back again.
they want it to be an Empire thing, but you got to have it more with Empire. Like if it's going to be a thing.
So far,
Yeah,
it's
but you
just
gotta
an
be
Empire
careful.
thing.
No,
right?
no,
You
but
gotta
I
be
mean,
careful with that
like
too, though.
Callus would have done well with Entourage something. I think he could have.
There's
that
lots
would've-
we could say about Callus, but
Anyways, okay. So his
not
next,
after this card. But anyway,
his next keyword is ruthless. When another friendly core trooper unit at range 2 and in line of sight that has a face-up order token activates, it may suffer 1 wound to perform 1 free action. That's pretty good. Now
It's
that
man.
doesn't break, as far as we know, that doesn't break the action economy rules. Like you can't have a second.
You can't have
attack.
two attacks. Yeah.
Right,
It's
right, right.
it's essentially new ways to motivate them. Core
It
trooper.
is, but just there all the time.
Yeah.
It's just,
Well, and
it's just there.
only core troopers.
Yep.
So that's it's also
True.
range restricted.
Yeah, those drones will start adding up real quick. Real quick as
Yeah.
core troopers. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of hostage with this. Like,
oh
making
yeah,
my
clearly
Recover?
run.
this is crazy
Yeah.
for hostage and recover.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an
Recover
objective
too.
play card primarily. I don't
Yeah.
Mhm.
Move,
see
claim,
you like
move.
often, killing a short trooper to like take an extra aim action or something.
Right.
Right.
No, God, you better not be, please.
Yeah.
Please.
No, I mean it could you could, because you can triple move, right? So you
Yep.
could, like, if you've recovered a supply already and you're trying to get them behind cover before, with the new rules, the new suppression rules, this is actually really nice. So
Yeah.
you move, suffer a wound, move again, and now you've just moved yourself halfway across the board behind line of sight blocking terrain where
Yeah.
people can't shoot that.
You
thing
could
off
even
of you.
move, grab, move,
Yeah.
or
Right.
grab, move.
Well, and it's interesting too, like in a world where, I mean, pending the full rules docs and everything, where Dauntless and Compel have kind of really gone down a few steps. It's like, okay, well, here's Ruthless instead.
Yeah.
Dude, and with the new climb rules, I mean, this is, you could
Yeah,
get up and
it's-
over and
it's
move. Oh my god, it's so good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing about this, at least based on the reminder text, this appears to be a donut because it does not say at range 1 to 2, like
Yes.
every other ability in the game that has this
So
similar range.
I've said
language.
this a few places, like online, in different Discord spheres and chats and things. It's got to be, at this point, it's got to be on purpose. Like, we've got to be looking at, like, that's going to be something that's going to get
Does it?
revisited. Yes, because like there's no way. You now have 3 units, recent units, that all have donuts. Either we're making donuts on purpose, or we're just going to redo these rules. So I hang the donut up for a little bit, and we'll come back to that.
Yeah, I mean, and this is
Let's-
just
let's-
reminder text. So maybe
Yeah.
maybe the actual, what is it going to be called? The CRB? Is that what the abbreviation people are
CRB,
using?
yeah.
Right?
Cool rulebook,
Maybe in
yeah.
the CRB it says range 1 to 2. I don't know.
Right,
but
right.
The reminder text says range 2. So
Yeah,
I guess he's
yeah.
more intimidating if you're not like right next to him.
Plus, everyone, the joke is like the monologue distance. He's range 2 is the perfect monologue distance.
Yeah.
Oh,
You got to walk around and pace a little bit when you're you need some space.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that makes
right.
sense. Yeah.
So
It's
if
just thematic.
it's not, oh, okay.
Welcome to the conversation, Jay. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking about, like, that's crazy how that works.
Yeah, because what is it? IG-11 has the same thing.
Yep.
Anakin in 501st has a version of that. It's one.
Right.
Well,
But
the
again, it's all these
501st
new
thing is the
things.
within instead of at
Oh, yeah.
language.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of the same thing with the like imprecise range language, but in a different way. But,
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels like there's something that's going to be maybe talked about. I don't know. We'll see. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just donuts everywhere. Donuts. I don't know. Makes it interesting. Give you that.
It makes it a lot harder to use if it's a donut.
Yeah. Well, also, but it's so good. I'm kind of okay with that too.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, maybe that'd be like fine. I don't know, but
yeah, maybe that's the way to like help control it.
I could see this, if it is indeed intended to actually be a donut, I could see this confusing a lot of people when you're like, hang on, that unit's at range 1, you can't use it.
Yeah, it gets tricky.
It's the same thing with the IG-11, right? Like, and they've said at least, until we get the CRB on the forums, they've ruled that is in fact a donut on IG-11's
Right,
card. So,
right. Oh, that's true. That's true. They did say that.
Yeah. So
About that.
either they're just owning it, or that's how it's supposed to be, or I don't know. But they have said on the forums that IG-11's card is supposed to be a donut,
We can-
or at least that it should be
Next
played
week.
as a donut. I don't. They haven't.
hey, next
yeah.
week.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
know next week. I
Yeah.
forgot I was that close. So it's
Yeah.
good.
Maybe, one would hope. Yeah.
Stop it.
So donuts are weird. I mean, I don't think it's unheard of in miniature gaming. It's just different for us, right? And how
Well,
we're
Yeah.
There are plenty of like intentional donuts in Legion, mostly with ranged weapons.
Mhm.
I can't think of any that are like abilities. that are that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Like the
but
mortar's only 3 to 4.
yeah,
Yeah.
the most bombards are 4 to unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
The ATST mortars 4 to unlimited.
Yep.
The rocket launcher for the B2s is 2 to 3.
Mm-hmm.
So which people constantly forget about. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
All right. So he himself has sharpshooter 1 and tactical 1. So that's after they perform a standard move, they gain a name. He's got 5 of the green things. That's health. He's got 3 of the yellow things. That is that's courage.
It is indeed, Jay. You're right. Look at that.
Listen, I don't know. New players could be on. I just want them to know what's going on. He rolls red defense die, which I think is great. Surges to crit on the attack rolls. Surges to block on the defensive rolls, which is super cool.
Unusual for
Yeah.
like somebody with his quote unquote template, the support commander template.
Yeah, for sure.
Very unusual. Anyway, continue.
I will. He's got a custom blaster pistol that's range 1 to 2. It's a red 2 black and it's Pierce 1. A little bit better than Krennic's, because Krennic's is rainbow Pierce 1, same distance. He's got advanced combat training, so he's 2 red. That's great. Great.
In melee, supposedly.
Yeah.
In melee, if you're just running him naked.
If you're not paying for the Darksaber.
Right.
You're paying for that Darksaber.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that you are.
Depends. I guess depends on what the rest of your list is doing and how many Dark Troopers you're bringing.
I don't know. I like having that insurance against a Pierce unit, like a melee Pierce unit.
Sure.
15 points is...
Yeah.
We'll talk about the Darksaber when we get there.
So he's 100 points out
Yeah.
the gate.
You forgot 3 courage.
No, I said the yellow stuff. I
Oh,
said 3 courage. You weren't listening. You were
Sorry.
so busy
I'm sorry.
worried about the
yellow
green
threw me
stuff.
off.
Yeah. You don't even, you know what?
I'm sorry.
I rescind our invitation to the podcast. You go back whence you came.
Oh, because I didn't let you get away with saying yellow stuff and green stuff.
Nobody
when you're
wants you
talking about
here
a unit
anymore.
card.
So he's got 2 commander slots for his upgrades. He's got a training slot, a gear slot, and he's got a weapons slot, which we're going to talk about. So the next thing that we talked about, the Darksaber, which is unique. So that's interesting. It doesn't matter because all the Darksabers that are available to us are in different lists right now. So different fractions. So we should be okay there. Though eventually that may become a problem. We'll see. Yeah. So that gives him 5 black. He gains demoralize 1 while defending against melee attack. This unit gains immune pierce. He has impact 1, pierce 1, and that's 15 points.
Surge crit, don't forget, because he has surge crit on his card.
Yep.
So,
I mean, it's basically identical to Sabine's, except it also has demoralize 1, but does not give him Dauntless like Sabine's does.
Right.
So that's the
But he
primary.
did-
It's Sabine's, except you swap Dauntless for demoralize.
Right. And tactical helps in there too, because he gets that aim on the approach.
Yep.
You know. It's solid. It's good.
It's very
Real
solid.
good.
Yeah. I think it's pretty fairly costed at 15.
Yeah. And I think I've seen a couple people post like memes about Sabine being sad about it, but like remember Sabine's is 15 now as well. Like
Yeah.
she got dropped down. She's all right.
Yeah, she's fine. And I think generally she has an easier time proactively getting to close combat anyway. So
Yeah, she's speed 3 with jump 2. She's all right.
Yeah. Do you want to hit his command cards real quick, and then we can talk about the whole package?
You want me to keep going? You guys okay with that?
Yeah, please.
All right, let's start at his 3-pip. Moment of consideration. That classic scene from season 1 of Mandalorian, where he brings out the E-Web, the most advanced weapon the Empire has. Very exciting because, E-Webs are great. So anyways, 3 core or
and sadly have nothing to do with this
heavy
card.
units.
I was so hopeful. I was so hopeful.
When I first saw this, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna run 3 E-Webs," and I'm like, "Wait, what's that symbol? Son of a biscuit!"
I know.
It was.
I know.
Dude,
I saw the artwork and I got excited. I was like, "Is
Such
this the
a
scene?
miss.
This is it."
It should have been 3 support or heavy units, but it's 3 core or heavy units. Units issued orders by this card gain fire support this round. Yeah, fire support's good.
Fire Sport's real good on the right platform. Yeah.
I wish eWebs were part of that, but you know what?
Yep.
You wish in one hand, crap in the other. See which one fills. Okay, so 2 pip. You have something I want.
This one
2
we got
units.
spoiled a little bit. Yeah.
What's that? What'd you say?
This one we saw spoiled on stream a while back. A
Oh,
little
did
bit.
we?
Yeah, but it's worth rehashing for.
Yeah, it was a
purpose of
long time ago.
discussion
No,
of the
Tim
package,
said it already.
And we also
I
didn't. We didn't
can't.
get to see the whole thing either. It was like half cut off.
Ugh. Okay.
Good.
Well, that took us nowhere. Thanks, Tim.
I'm a color commentator.
Yeah, perfect. 2 units. This card cannot be chosen during the first round. After orders have been issued, choose a friendly Imperial Dark Troopers unit that has a face-up order token. Remove that unit from the battlefield, keeping all tokens, then place it on the battlefield beyond range 2 of all enemy units. Then flip their order token face down. Yep.
It's great.
Yep. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's free rapid reinforcements, but better because you
This-
can actually go again.
For at least from what we know of the Dark Trooper kit, this seems almost kind of required to make like a Dark Trooper unit work, just because of
Oh,
how
yeah.
slow they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Assuming
for
plotting
sure.
still does the same thing it used to when the UF had it.
Right.
I forgot about that. I forgot they had plotting. Yeah. Sure.
I mean, it seems like they'll be super easy to kite if you can't just teleport them directly into the most relevant part of the fight. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and it plays with that unstoppable, right? Because
Yeah.
it's the face down order token. You can get a face up one. So
Right.
that's super interesting.
Yeah.
So 1 pip, die at my hands. Moff Gideon gets the order. Moff Gideon gains relentless, 1 aim token and 1 dodge token this round. Yeah, I think that's
It's-
a good card.
It's funny to me that Die by My Hand is the least exciting. No, it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad, but like of the 3 of these, it's the least exciting. It's just your standard like, I'm gonna dive, okay, or like backline dive. But also like if I build an army that has multiple commanders or operatives, that's probably one that's gonna get cut pretty early. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
This is
such a
easily
job.
the most cuttable of the
Right.
3.
Agreed.
right.
It's basically the like, do I have the dark saber? Yes or no? If the answer is
Right.
yes, do I have other 1 pips in my
There you go.
list that are crowding this out? If the
Right.
answer is no, then you take it.
Yeah, it's do I have the dark saber and do I have an intention to use the dark saber on offense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is fine. I think, and
Yeah.
these other
Oh,
2
yeah.
cards, I mean, the number 2 is the 2 pip is basically like the am I running Dark Troopers, which
Yeah.
you probably are if you're running
Yeah.
Moff Gideon.
Right.
And then the 3 pip seems like kind of a character defining card. Like, I know that every clone unit has fire support, and clone players are like, oh, what's the big deal? It's fire support. Like all my units have fire support. But you have to think about the fact that the Republic faction is kind of designed around that as a thing, right? So they have very few units that have long range and surge just printed on their thing. They've got like the ATRT, right? They've got the bark, but basically every unit in the Republic faction has in mind that it can be fire supported by all of your core units when it's designed. Empire, not the same case. So there's going to be, I think, in my opinion, some like really interesting ways that you can kind of break the normal fire support expectations by using fire support on units that were essentially not designed for that. I mean, think about like putting this on 2 shore troopers and then fire supporting a split fire Boba Fett.
Well, and not only
Yeah.
that, if you put it on with a double shore, double mortar, hell, if you want to do triple shore, triple mortar, all 3 of those or all 6 of those units rather can fire support.
Right.
Not at the same time, of course, but still, like you
Right.
have 6 fire support options.
I was thinking a real interesting I don't have the full build in my head yet, but I think you could do like a double shore, double mortar, a double dark trooper, double strike team, and then you could almost put like a royal guard in this. And like if he's gonna start diving, like you have a royal guard with like protector, and they just go with him, and like between those two units, they just start messing stuff up. I mean, if he's got the dark saber, like you know, I don't know what the point. The points are on the upgrades for the dark troopers, so that could change things. But you could even not have those, and you could put a third strike team in there, and like you have like 11 activation list that's pretty nasty.
Yeah, I actually think IRG are potentially an interesting pairing with Dark Troopers anyway.
Yeah,
because they have full armor, so the only thing that's getting through is crits. So you get IRG with Protector.
Yep.
And you're peeling the first shot that has crits off of them.
That turn, which is never dying,
right?
Eternal. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, think about it. You put Moff with the dark saber, the royal guards, and 2 Imperial dark troopers. Whatever their upgrade is. Let's say there's like a melee upgrade, right? And you just murder. Bat. Yeah, you just the murder.
I know, right? We saw one. Like we saw the.
It's called the Myrtleizer.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So you take those units and you just murder ball towards something, and you use your shores and your mortars and your strike teams to kind of like do some fire support on the back end. And I mean.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Oh yeah.
Kind of a slow moving murder ball, but a murder ball nonetheless.
Yeah, but I mean, like, and then you got like, let's say, you're up there. You could have your Royal Guard, which are, the thing I like about Royal Guard that I think a lot of people forget is the 2 black at range 2 that they each shoot. Yep. So you could potentially throw 8 black dice and then fire support into it from like your shore troopers or like a mortar or something like.
But you don't surge hit.
You don't.
Whatever you roll is what you roll, which can be real hard sometimes.
Yeah, but if you're fire supporting in, you.
Yeah.
Well, with the shores, you'd want to fire support something that already surges hit, which
right.
Empire has plenty of access to things that do that.
Right. So. Or hear me out, and I've done this before, and I don't mind it at all. Is to throw a grenade on your IRG and then shoot them at range 1, and now they're surging crit or surging hit or whatever. With a whole bunch of black dice, then you could fire support that.
Yeah. You could fire support snows with frag grenades.
Mm-hmm.
Who can also get an extra distance with their flamer with Ruthless.
Oof,
for an extra move action.
That's why you're good at this game. All right. That's fair. All right. Okay.
I mean, hang on. Let's math this out. If you take a shore unit or a snow unit with take an extra dude to kill with Ruthless, whatever. So you got 6 dudes. You got your frag grenades. You got your flamethrower. Kill the dude. So that's then 4 red dice plus however many black dice is in the target unit.
Right.
Say it's 5, right?
Sure.
So you've got 4. Right now. You've got 4 red dice from the frags. You've got 5 black dice. And then if you fire support with a shore unit, that's 6 more black dice and 2 more white dice if they have a T21. Yeah. So that's 11 black dice, 4 red dice, 2 white dice, which is what? 55.
Can you do this in your
82,
head?
Give him a second.
88. That's 11 hits on average.
There you are. Welcome to Jay's
about
nightmare.
The dice?
So would you, if you had the points, Kyle, would you put targeting scopes on them?
On the snows?
Yeah.
No, because where are they going to get the aim from for that attack?
I do think if you're doing that route just for the sake of points, because the freaking heavy on the shore is so expensive, I think even just fire supporting a naked shore is good though, because it's still 4 black dice.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Surging crit at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I've used naked clones a lot for fire support.
All
like
right.
you get like a shooty wook or something like that, and you fire support in with the extra 4 black dice. And
well, I was playing against Evan the other night, and my naked clones were doing work.
Yep.
Black dice or black dice.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it's, to me, Gideon, I think suddenly becomes the instant like Empire gunline commander.
Yeah, for sure.
Between that fire support card, between the fact that Dark Troopers probably are kind of like a built-in melee unit linebacker counter.
Right.
Because
they're whatever you need them to do, probably. I mean, most likely, without seeing the heavies, but
yeah. it seems
then-
like it's going to be tough to like proactively get them into melee because they're so slow. But
Yeah.
they can activate twice, and they throw red white per model in melee,
Right.
and you're looking at potentially up to, they have what, 2 heavy slots
Yeah.
Mhm.
and possibly like a personnel slot. So that's up to like,
Not possibly. They do have a personnel slot. So
true.
okay,
Yeah.
well
We
there you
don't-
go. So
we
that's
don't know what
possibly
can fit
that's
into
up
that
to
personnel slot. But yeah.
so that's like up to 6 models. So it's 12 dice, half of which are red, that can hit twice per turn.
Right.
Like if you're a Jedi, I don't care how good your lightsaber is, like you don't want to be close to that.
No. Well, and I think
Um,
too for Gideon, like just the fact that he is. I mean, again, I think you bring the dark saber, but even if you don't, let's just argue you don't. It's a 100-point courage 3 commander with 2 command slots.
Yeah.
Boom. Like, don't even care about his keywords, which are also great, but like just he's just a courage 3 commander with 2 command slots for 100 points. Like boom,
Right.
just
That's,
right there.
that seems
That's
pretty
it.
solid. Yeah.
That surges both ways.
So the interesting thing is, do they have the programmed slot, right? Without the programmed keyword?
The Dark Trooper.
Yeah. They have
Yes.
a programming slot, but they do not have the
Yes.
program.
But they're not programmed keywords. So that
Yes.
means you could take one of the, potentially, if there's, I don't know how it's going to work, if there's new ones or the AI protocols.
I'm
Or
sure they'll have
whatever.
some kind of new one. Yeah.
The AI protocols are, I believe, separatist only.
Oh, okay. So
Um,
then they'll have to have new ones. Yeah.
Well, and I wonder too, and I'm not.
They're
wondering
they're
that.
vehicle only,
Okay.
Mm,
and dark troopers are not a vehicle.
Right.
they're droid
So
troopers.
They are droid troopers. So-
And
Oh,
I
God.
wonder
I
too.
I hope they thought that through. That would be weird.
I wonder if the
yeah, that'd be weird.
Yeah.
if one of the heavies has like a, if you bring this heavy, you have to have a programming or something like that.
I don't know.
I'm not a tester person, so maybe I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
not smart enough for that to. But related to that, talking about dark troopers and things like that, and then being a droid trooper, I'm glad you mentioned that. If your commander dies, can you promote them to be your now infinite courage commander because they're a trooper?
I don't see why not.
I don't see why not.
Yeah. That's wild.
So that's when you just bring in with like a naked officer, be like, go ahead, shoot my officer. Go for it.
Yeah.
Please do it.
Please.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
throw your officer onto a box and let him die on purpose.
Okay.
Oh,
So
man.
with Moff, I wonder if there's a list too where you could bring the Gav tank into this.
There
and
is.
you load them into the Gav tank and
Put the
then
dark
you-
troopers in the gav tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just start zoom and then you use the 2-pip for the other one.
Yep.
And you just pop them on one side and you Gav tank the other ones right up in and
Mhm.
oh baby.
Yeah.
That
It's right
sounds
there.
very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't hate that. And then also you can have a turn where the Gav tank could fire support something if you wanted to.
Yep.
Give it the hammers
Or-
pilot so it surges.
Or I was gonna say, or vice versa. you
You'd have the dark
trooper-
troopers fire support the gav tank.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Chris.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good day to be an Empire player.
Yeah.
It is funny to me that they were like, here's these, a peek at these new courage rules. Courage 3 commanders are going to go way up in value. Also, Empire, we know you're hurting, so here's another courage 3, like, or infinite courage or
Yeah.
whatever commander.
As if Iden wasn't already like the best Courage 3 commander
Right.
in the game.
It's like an infomercial, like those old infomercials. Like, what if I don't want to bring Iden? Well, wait, there's more.
Yeah.
Gideon.
Oh man, so good.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is gonna be great.
Entertaining. I can't wait for
I've got
3/4 of the field to be Empire.
I actually, jokes aside, and we have not seen, it's really hard to assess without seeing like the points cost and
Yeah.
stats on
Yeah.
the Dark Trooper heavies, but
True.
Gideon actually looks pretty reasonable to me.
Yes.
I agree. I agree.
Like yes, these abilities are good. The command cards are good. As amazing as the fire support one could be, it's a 3-pip, so it could be kind of hard to set up. You kind of
And it's
have
a
to
one-off.
play it right, and you kind of have to play it when you're like already stuck in, like your opponent already has a bunch of stuff in range of your stuff, because it's not going to be a situation like with clones sometimes where you can play a 1-pip and do like a surprise fire support on one unit. You're not going to be able to do that because they're just going to play like a 2-pip or something and just move it out of range. So I don't know. This feels like about right to me. Like he's costed like a super tactical droid, right? He's costed as a premium support commander.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I think this is where it's good that the Darksaber is 15, because I think like 115 for that. Yeah. Because like if you bring Gideon with a mainly gunline kind of army with a Darksaber, if I'm playing you, I'm going to be aware of that, but I'm also not like shaking in my boots. Oh God, his Gideon's going to come wreck my lines. Like, you know, it's not like a Vader coming at me. Like, okay,
yeah,
he's back there. I have to respect him. I have to understand he's there, but it's not my main focus.
Yeah.
I think he's going to do a lot of work with his pistol. Sharpshooter with Pierce and tactical.
Yeah.
Surge crit. Yeah.
The surge crit. Yeah.
Especially on that fire support turn. Boom.
Yeah. Fire support Gideon.
Fire support a mortar. No, just boom.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's super interesting. He seems like the default go-to. I want to make a shore trooper gunline Empire commander.
That's true. That's
true. Okay. Here's what you do. You ready? Okay. You put Gideon in the tank. You drive up with the 3-pip. You give the tank the fire support, and Gideon and the tank both shoot, and the tank fire supports Gideon.
Surge crit.
Yeah. With it, because you would have, they've got the arsenal too. So you would have their, you know.
Yeah.
You'd have
it's a lot of dice.
Yeah. So what is it? You'd have 3 red,
suppressive.
3 white, 2 black from the tank. Plus you'd have another 2 black and a red from Gideon with Pierce 1, Sharpshooter 1,
Surge crit, suppressive.
Surge crit, and
if you're
suppressive.
using, I'm assuming you're not using a
no, you wouldn't use the you could use the
but I'd rather use a suppressive gun. And
yeah.
that
I mean, either it
point,
depends on what you're doing, right? But yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
You could do an ATST fire support too.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
That was my first thing I built. It's like, oh, look at this.
You could fire support one ATST with another ATST.
Ooh, what if you only brought hammers, one hammers pilot, and support the other one? But again, it's only a one-off though, right? So like, cool trick.
Yeah.
Now you got to survive the rest of the game and make yourself useful for the rest of the game.
Right.
Yeah, but you could potentially erase something.
Yeah, but it's still going to be one shot. That is the one thing with fire support is like, okay, if I throw 20 dice at this one thing, that's still only one target I have to eliminate, which could be a huge high value target for sure.
So if you did that with the 3 heavies and you gave the dark troopers, they could have fire support twice, right? Because they have their face up. They get another face up order token, or no? How does that work?
No. So you can order dark troopers like you would order anyone else and give them a face up.
Yep.
But at least based on the reminder text for Unstoppable, they cannot have 2 face ups. It's more like Implacable, where
you pull it back from the bag.
You pull it out of the bag.
Yeah.
Now, currently the wording, at least in the reminder text, is kind of weird because right now it's like a hard rule that you cannot pull a token out of the bag and then activate a face up unit with it, because the process.
Well, what I'm saying is, So
you're saying, Kyle.
The card,
Interesting.
But the card says units issued orders by this card gain fire support this round. So the Dark Troopers would gain fire support for both their.
Because it's only one face up, and then you flip it over.
In order to use fire support, you have to have a face up.
Oh,
and you flip the face up. As soon as you fire support.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's the other part of fire support. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is going to be. I'm going to be curious to see how Unstoppable is actually worded in the CRB, because right now the process for like activating a unit is option A, go with a face up unit. Option B, pull a token from the bag and go with a unit that does not have a face up order. So, there could be a situation where you issue an order to a Dark Trooper. You have an extra heavy token in the bag. You choose to not go with that Dark Trooper. You pull the heavy token, and then suddenly, like, what do you do with it? I assume the intent is you would be able to go with that Dark Trooper that just has a face-up order. But right now, you can't. It's a hard rule that you can't go with a unit that already has a face-up order token if you pull from the bag. So I'll be curious to see how they handle that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm sure the intent, the intent is essentially that they go twice. So there's probably something
Right.
in Unstoppable
Right.
that says like, as long as they haven't already gone twice, if you draw a token from the bag and they got a face up, you can still go with them. But
Well, and
it
again,
seems pretty easy to fix.
yeah, and I've mentioned this before too in other places, but I have been encouraged so far, like just with the recent stuff, like again, just in the past little bit, like whether that's the like rule snippets or other little things, like where they're able to like edit things and they're willing to like adjust something minor, which is super appreciative because I think credit should
Yeah.
be where credit is due. So please keep doing that because that's great because that's all we need, right? Like we don't need a whole rewrite every time there's a problem. We just like just tweak this one word. Like you said, could you say may, or something like that. It's silly, but is what it is.
Responsiveness and quick adjustments of
Yeah.
things that are obviously wrong is always
Yeah.
appreciated.
Right, exactly. So it's nice.
Yeah.
We'll see what next week brings.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you're taking a massive document like the RRG and you're
Oh yeah.
editing it, much less distilling it into a completely differently formatted document, there's going to be some casualties. And
Oh yeah.
I'm sure it'll take some time to work those out. So
I fully plan to like download it and then just turn off all like socials and just let me, just me and my book, man. Just me and my book. Let me read it and it's fine.
My plan is to let Kyle and Evan Paul dissect it, write an article, and then talk about it on the Scoundrels, listen, and then or read, and then go. Got it.
One day I'll also talk about it on Scoundrels. It's fine. 3 weeks after it's come out, but yes.
Yes. Yeah.
well, 3 weeks from now, which will be 2 weeks after it comes
That's
out.
true. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Pal.
Still be quicker than Stabcast news cycle.
There you go. Should we pivot to Legion resolutions for 23?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, I can go first. It's fine. So I guess I have to keep mine the same. I don't have to, but I will. It'd be odd if I had 2 different resolutions. That seems like cheating.
These ones will just be better.
So well,
There you go. Yeah.
So
They'll be more achievable.
The broader context is 2 years ago or 2 resolutions ago, I said I wanted to have a 50-50 or better win rate, just in general. I kept track of all my games. It was close. It was like 40. I think it was like 40.
Wow.
And then this last year, I said I wanted to have a 50-50 win rate or better in competitive games. And so I kept track of competitive game, like tournaments, I should say, and above, and then like local nights. Local nights, I was above. Competitive, I was below, which made me sad. I think it was like 38 or again almost 40. So I guess I'm just solidly mediocre. So now, in the same vein, I want to have a higher win rate with Gar than I do with Empire. Which, if I wanted to really game the system, I could like manipulate that to where I play like one Empire game or something. I don't know. Like I could fudge those numbers a little bit, but I'm too ADHD to where I can just focus on one faction at a time. So I'll be hopping back and forth all the time. So I'll keep myself in line.
Nice, very good. I think goals should be achievable, and those both sound those both sound reasonable.
Be interesting. Be interesting to see. See if I keep playing a double saber triple RT list, and see if I keep that going.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna hit that mark just playing that, but
1-0 with it so far. So
yeah, well, there you go. It's a good start. I can go next.
Yeah.
So my first would be to simply cut my pile of shame in half, which of course is going to have to account for buying new stuff. So this could actually be somewhat difficult.
Yeah.
Because I'm probably getting Ewoks, unless they look terrible, because I think they're hilarious. I'm on the Jay's Orcs and Goblins train with this one. I played Orcs and Goblins in Warhammer Fantasy, and
that's fair.
They look like that. Basically a little bit like they're kind of like making fun of themselves a little bit, but also slightly terrifying. So
yeah, we all know they were supposed to be Wookiees way back when the movie came out. Like, and yeah, it's hilarious to see him now.
Right, because now they've kind of become like this like self-aware meme a little bit.
So right. So let me ask, how big is your pile of shame? Like, I don't know how you estimate that, but like, how many units or models, I guess you would have? Let's say models. How many models you got?
It's a lot, which I say,
If you're
which is
willing
why
to
I
share,
say
yeah,
cut
you don't
it.
have to
Yeah.
say. You don't have to say. It's okay. It's
Well,
a lot.
it's more that I'm having trouble counting.
Okay.
So I have basically all of Blizzard Force is like, I would say like 60% painted. You know, I got it to something resembling a 3-color standard for purposes of packs, but I would like to make them look as good as the rest of my Empire stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the most short-term part of my pile of shame. And then I have stuff that I ordered, which is going to be like Gideon and some Dark Troopers and some other random crap. I have a unit of Magnus that I have not got to yet. I have Yoda.
Hey, Yoda's easy. That's the good news. Yoda's easy.
Yeah, I know. And then I have some random, like, I have like 2 Clone Trooper upgrade expansions.
Yeah.
I have some random like Rebel Commandos that I never painted. So that stuff I probably won't get to, but
That's fair.
we'll see.
Yeah. You got to prioritize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then goal number 2 is I want to win a tournament with Republic, which is the only faction I haven't won a tournament with. So
listen, I say mine, then you say this. Come on. Come on. I see how it is.
Seems like sort of reasonable, right? And I didn't play them until after Rexstar got nerfed, so I kind of missed that opportunity to check that box.
Listen, my secondary objective is to be the #1 double saber player in the world. So there you go.
Okay.
Wow. I think you can do it.
It's all
So
2 of us.
No one's playing them. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. If I freaking go to like Adepticon and I see like 4 double saberless, I'm gonna freak out. I'm like, you fools, you listen to me. No.
Yep.
You deserve your fate if you do that.
Yeah. I think we'll see if Blizzard Force doesn't get nerfed, I'm gonna end up playing them until that happens. Because I enjoy it. I think it's a fun list to run for me. Maybe it's because it's dumb. I don't know. But B,
No,
it's
it's
also
good.
really good.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the cross section of that. And I feel like I'm performing a public service, a little bit by running it. Building awareness,
such a sacrifice you're making for us
I mean,
you win these events. Yeah.
what's the some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make. Yeah. Shrek.
Kyle, Lord Farquaad, Dormos right
there. But if they get nerfed at some point, then I will probably pivot to Gar Republic, because they're my favorite faction to play. From a fun perspective. I like the models the most of all the ones that I've painted. So yeah.
No, that's kind of what I said because Gar's just interesting, right? Like every game with Gar is really interesting. But even if you lose, which I know you're not used to that, but for the rest of us, when we lose, it's still interesting. Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way. I lost twice as many games with Republic in 2022 as I did with Empire, which is 2.
Fair. You didn't have to say it though. Like you didn't you could just be like, oh, okay, that's great. It's good. It's good. Speaking of Lord Farquaad, Jay, what's your New Year's resolutions?
So this first thing I want to say isn't a resolution. It's just this supersedes all resolutions, which is as soon as Ewoks come out, I'm 100% in, like 1,000%. I could care less if they're good or not. I am all in. I will get them. I will paint them all immediately, and I will run whatever it is that I can run with as many Ewoks as I can run. That's what's happening.
All right.
And so that's supersedes. Okay. But it's funny, similar to you guys, my resolution is I really want to play more of the Clone Wars factions at tournaments. But either CIS or GAR, I like both. I have everything CIS painted. It's the only army I have fully painted. And I'm getting close to GAR getting fully painted with help from a painter.
Nice.
And so like I really want to like play a few tournaments with CIS, a few tournaments with GAR, and just go out and just be more well-rounded, because as much as we talk about it, I've played literally one game with CIS, none with GAR. And so I just want to be like a more well-rounded, I guess, host, player, whatever, so that I can be more accurate in my conversations about things versus theory crafting.
No, that's fair. Well, and I think CS. So I know we just talked about GAR being the most fun. I think maybe a better way for me, at least, to say is GAR are the most interesting for me, but I think CIS are actually the most fun in the sense of like I'm just going to throw this stuff on the table. I don't really care what. Like I just want to roll around with my like double AAT list. I don't care if it's good or not. Like I just think AATs are neat. It is the epitome of I think this is neat. I want to run this.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hmm.
I played droids for a long time, so I got it out of my system a little bit. But they're very fun. I mean, it's interesting. You get like this analysis paralysis sometimes with droids because I feel like it's sometimes a mental crush to just go to the bag and let the bag decide what you're going to do.
Right.
And with droids, when you got everything face up on the table, you're like, I could literally do anything. What do I do?
Right. Well, it's also too like playing primarily Empire and GAR, red save factions primarily. I can get really heated at dice, and I feel like when I play droids, I'm just like, man,
Yeah,
I don't think I'm gonna roll anything.
No
Like
expectations.
I have that's the thing. I have no expectation. Like with red dice, I expect results. With white dice, I'm just like, I rolled some things, nothing happened, it's fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now I want to play droids. Now I'm gonna go as soon as this is off. I'm gonna make a droid list.
It's weird. I've had, as cool as Shadow Collective Mall is, I have had zero. Like I have no interest in playing Shadow Collective like on any. I just don't like. Nothing is really moving me. And you know what I mean? Like I think sometimes there's a couple different decisions you make when you go to tournament, right? Is this list good? Will I win with it? And then B is, does it like move me in any direction where I, because I think pilots, I've said this a lot, pilot has a lot to do with winning, and you need to be moved and like motivated by a list and like understand the units and the list to play it. And just like, man, Shadow Collective on no level interests me. Like I've been looking at it, and like I got stomped at PAX by a Shadow Collective list, and in the moment I was like, wow, that's a really good list. And then I was just like, I just don't care about this at all. Like I have no connection to this. It's just strange.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
That
makes sense.
Like I like them all. Like if that,
Yeah.
but maybe I'll just play him in CIS because that makes more sense to me than.
And he's still good in CIS too. He's not as good as Shadow Collective, but
right.
Yeah.
No, I know.
No, I feel that a little bit. I have been. I guess I should say that my pile of shame also includes like 2 Shadow Collective starters that I haven't painted. Which I got my 2 units of pikes painted because I used those at Empire. But beyond that, I've got like 4 more units of pikes. I've got my Mandos, and I've got my Maul that I haven't even like assembled yet. And
same.
I actually think that even after the points increases, that list is still exceptionally good. But it's maybe this is like a hobby thing for me, but with these guys. But it's so hard to motivate myself to paint them because they're actually like kind of time consuming to paint. Like droids, I got all the B1s done in a relatively short period of time because you can quick paint them in a way that looks good, like super easy. Same, frankly, with white armor units. As long as you have an airbrush, like clones and stormtroopers, you can get those painted up pretty quickly. But pikes, for whatever reason, I just can't find a color scheme that I was happy with that didn't take forever. And I did my 2 units, and I'm like, man, these look pretty good, but that was really time consuming, and I really don't want to do this 4 more times. And thematically, they just don't appeal to me enough to like go through that effort.
Yeah.
So
I've-
even though I think
I've-
they'd still be great to bring to a tournament.
Yeah. I've found that I enjoy painting, but I really mainly enjoy painting single models
Hmm.
way more than like army painting. Like when a new either core unit or like a unit where you're like, I'm going to buy 3 trooper units or something like I have to like sigh because I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't want to have to paint this. Oh, please, God. Whereas like one unit, you can just take your time and spend time with it, have fun with it, be a little more unique with it too.
Yeah, for me, like I love painting vehicles, and I think I'm the best at painting vehicles. That's where like I really shine. I can like I'll get started on a unit, and then I droids were really easy, and I flew through those. But like, yeah, like some of this other stuff, like I'll start and I'll just be like, I can't keep doing this. Like this is taking too
Yeah.
long. Like I don't have time for this, man. Like and
Yeah.
I get
No,
really,
that's the
like,
truth. It's a time
antsy.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Absolutely.
a great moment, and I wish I could remember what the show was called. I was in the UK and I was watching some random sitcom on the TV in my hotel room because I had like horrible jet lag, and I just one of the ways to power through the jet lag is to just like not sleep and try
Yep.
and forcibly reset your clock. So I'm desperately trying to not sleep, and I'm watching random English British sitcoms. And there's this, it's kind of like I guess like a British equivalent of Modern Family. Anyway, the dad for some reason decides that he's like getting into miniatures painting. And he's got these little like historical red coats that he's painting or whatever. And he gets them all next to his, on his desk next to him. They're all totally unpainted. He's like so excited. He gets out his paints. He starts working on one. He's like painting it up, and then he looks at it. He holds it up. He's like, yeah, like that. That's great, and then he sets it like in his done pile. And then he looks over at his 40 dudes that he hasn't painted yet. And he's like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it
That's
does like a
great.
montage, and he's getting progressively lazier as he paints each miniature. And eventually he's just like literally dunking them in the paint pots.
Yep.
Yeah. But that's, I get you, Tim, with the whole, like, I don't like painting armies thing. If
Yeah.
I can do like a mass produced thing, like airbrush, wash, dry brush, done, that's
Yeah.
one thing. But if you got to take like a brush to each dude, I feel that same way. You finish one guy and you're like, yeah, like that's, yeah,
These guys are gonna look great.
yeah.
Oh.
And then you look at your 30 guys and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh well. Well, we did our resolutions. Look at us.
We did.
Look at us go.
And it was at least 15% better than the Stabcast.
I was just gonna say the only podcast to do real resolutions. There you go. There.
Nothing can stop us now.
That's right.
Yep.
You're a shooting star, Tim.
Thanks, buddy.
Don't shooting stars burn out in the atmosphere?
Yep.
Still
I said-
true.
I said what I
Still
said.
true.
Yeah.
Statement stands.
I
Yep.
said what I said. Didn't you?
And
didn't
I
you
still
hear his
agreed.
counting of his games.
My daughter asked me to explain what a meteorite was to her the other day. And
Big
like,
hurling death rock coming to kill us.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because they were learning about the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs, which was like,
Perfect.
and I'm like, well, that one was like 6 miles wide, and it pretty much killed everything on the planet almost, except for like ferns and shit. And she's like, well, what happens if that happens again?
Yep.
And I'm like, well, we'd all die, but
we don't have to worry
exactly
about
what you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but luckily NASA just figured out how to like deflect those, so I think we're good. Or at least we're not aware of any giant 6 mile wide asteroids that are hurtling towards
Now
Earth.
it's all the other things that could kill us instead.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, nuclear weapons far more likely.
Oh, I was
That's
going to
the,
go with painting miniatures.
Oh yeah,
It's going to kill me.
Steve, you should be crossing one off the list, like crossing off asteroid. All right. And there's a
yeah,
list of
right.
asteroids.
There you go. Yeah, I've seen that movie where they make a bunch of oil drillers into astronauts for some reason and then have them go blow up an asteroid. That's
Armageddon.
I
Armageddon.
love that movie.
that's it.
Classic.
So good. Do you remember when movies used to come out and they'd be like 2 competing movies, like Deep Impact and Armageddon?
I was just gonna say, do
Yeah.
you remember the name? Yep, Deep Impact.
Yeah,
It's-
Ants and A Bug's Life. We're like, oh my god,
Oh, man.
like I miss those days. Like I want competing movies about the same exact topic again, and I want them to be cheesy and over the top.
Listen, DC tried to match Marvel. All right. So
Yeah.
It's not the
That's right.
same.
Another Ben Affleck thing. I guess apparently like when they were being pitched the script or being like summarizing the script. Ben Affleck raised his hand and he's like, "Wouldn't it just be easier to teach astronauts to drill than to teach drillers to be astronauts?" And the writers gave him like a dirty look and just kept talking.
Yeah.
Like,
He was clearly wrong because that movie was incredible.
oh, it was a very entertaining. Certainly more entertaining to try and teach oil drillers to be astronauts. But
I listen to all you youngsters out there. Listen to this. I highly recommend watch Deep Impact first, and then Armageddon.
yeah,
And then No Country for Old Men. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is that the one with the I'm an oil man? I can't remember. No.
no, that is
That's where. Oh, God.
Dear God,
There Will Be
Wow.
Blood.
Yeah.
Wow, that
There
was
will
so
be blood,
bad.
Tim.
Oh,
yeah, I know better. I'm
Volcano
sorry.
and Dante's Peak. That's the
True.
other ones. Oh my God, those two were good.
Oh,
Oh, Dante's Peak, Pierce Brosnan,
Yep.
Volcano.
yep.
Yep.
Wasn't
what's
there
his name?
also there was The Abyss and like The Deep or something like that?
Yeah. Yep. Ah, dude,
I remember The Abyss. I forget the other one.
I
So
wish Hollywood
that's the
would
one
get
that
it
won.
together. I want like competing disaster films. Oh, I'm so hungry for it right now.
You know who could give you that kind of like satisfaction for your hunger? Wegmans.
Oh, yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Ding, ding. You needed the
Nice.
little ding on your teeth when you smiled. Yeah, perfect.
Man, now I really want some Wegmans.
Oh, dude, Wegmans is so good. And all their like Wegmans brand stuff is amazing. Like
I know.
oh.
All right.
All right. Well,
Danny Wegmans, give us
there
a
you go.
call.
Yeah.
We'll run your commercials.
That's right.
Or maybe we'll just keep advertising you for free.
Oh,
Who
yeah,
knows?
That's when you get a cease and desist. Please stop talking about our store.
Yeah,
please.
That was real quick. So that was the Office, the U.S. version of The Office there in Pennsylvania, which has Wegmans. So if you watch The Office, they have a ton of products like when they're eating food and stuff that's all from Wegmans. And I remember that being like, and when they went to the Utica branch, which is up here in New York, like I worked in Utica at the time, like that was a big deal at the job I was at, like, oh, the Utica, and it's just.
That's the proudest moment Utica's ever had.
Yeah.
It's
That
not
and the
a long
Mafia.
list, but
Yeah. That's it.
Claims to fame.
Yeah.
That's
Yep. All right.
all
Well,
right.
we are the Notorious Scoundrels, not brought to you by Wegmans. I'm Kyle.
That's true.
I'm
Yeah.
Jay.
I'm Tim.
Stay fresh, cheese bags.
I'm brought to you by Wegmans.